Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. It's like old home week on the show today. My goodness. As promised, if you're a longtime viewer of Daytime Ottawa, there's a special guest coming up, but you'll recognize my next guest, if perhaps not his face, his voice, but if you've been watching Ottawa 67s here on Rogers TV for many, many years, you'll recognize the face as well. Lee Versage joined us. He's Daytime Ottawa's Sens insider. Welcome back. Great to have you.
So good to be back.
Great to have you back.
So good to be back.
Well, you missed the last time. You were out, I guess, doing a little traveling with family.
I was.
Nice.
I was out, but I am back. I just got a crown on my tooth for a root canal yesterday.
Oh,
so I'm in great shape to be able to speak.
I can imagine.
And I got here and you asked me to sit back. Because you're in the shot. I didn't want to take up your
Well, it had nothing to do with that. I mean, it's the camera people. They need to get the proper shot. Look, my hand just went into yours. Look at that.
Okay.
There,
all right.
There we go.
But TL being back. I mean,
TL Raider on the show today.
You came and told me that there's somebody here that I'm going to be excited to see.
Right.
I thought it'd be Ian Murphy.
Yeah, who's our director on the show today.
It is Ian Murphy.
Yeah.
But then TL comes out.
And it changed everything for you.
Ian's still number one. But
TL's not going to be happy about that.
Well, she already warned me about you getting, JT, who she's going to be on with. We need JT to speak. So I'm not sure to actually ask you to be more quiet or TL to be more quiet, because it will be old home week when you
probably both.
Right. That's what I said.
I think that's some great advice.
Please let him start talking, and then you guys come in at the end.
I'm going to throw the first question to JT to make sure he gets something in there.
Mary Poppins. I'm excited about Mary Poppins.
It is. Yeah, well, it kicks off tomorrow night. My wife and I are going. It's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward. And TL's daughter's in the production as well. But we'll talk about that in a moment.
So what happens when you get here too early? You got to talk a lot
That's right.
with other people.
Exactly.
But I got to meet Doug. I'm excited about this whole show.
The Sens are playing as we speak, in Sweden.
Yeah.
What do you think about the schedule so far for the Sens? There's been a lot of talk about the Sens and the NHL not being too kind when it comes to their schedule, and this hasn't.
Hold on. What do you mean not be too kind? They've played the least amount of games.
Well, that's not. I don't think that's a great thing, because now they got to play 15 games in the month of December.
Well, here's what I would have done with the least amount of games in the National Hockey League. I don't know, win some of them.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good. Yeah, I agree.
They're last place in their division. They're tied for last in the conference.
Yeah.
They've had the majority of games at home. Tell me a top 5 team in the league that they've played so far. Maybe Carolina. Maybe.
Yeah.
Other than that, nobody. And they're 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
not a good start.
So let's not go to the scheduling problem.
Well, it is.
Here.
I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying it seems to be quite unusual, and it's not the first year that the Sens have had a schedule like this.
The schedule, and by the way, there are more than one team going to Sweden. So they're going to play Detroit, Minnesota, and Toronto. Why Ottawa and Toronto wouldn't play against each other?
Yeah, I agree.
Now you're going to talk about scheduling problems beyond me.
And Toronto gets to call them away games. Ottawa has to call them home games.
Right.
Does the NHL pay a team to go to some of these global games?
No, they ask nicely.
They do, and Ottawa goes, yeah, we'd like to lose 2 home game ticket sales and concessions.
Well,
why are you saying yes?
Well, okay, so what is your solution to this?
Well, just say no.
So every team will say no, and then we won't go to Sweden.
Well, no, I could see the league forcing teams to go, hey, listen, you're the pick this year. You're going to Germany, or you're going to Sweden.
Correct.
That's it.
That's part of the deal.
End of story, right?
Yeah. You get last line change. DJ Smith loves his last line change.
Yes,
so he gets his last line change twice.
Okay. So, you brought up DJ Smith. Let's talk about him, because the pressure is still on him.
Yeah.
How important is this trip going into a busy December?
Well, it's his whole career with the Ottawa Senators. Yeah. I mean, they've won 2 of their last 3 games, which I think has, at least held off some of the pressure. Some of the things, I haven't been here since Pierre Dorion has been.
I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
What was let go? But I guess my point there is that, with DJ Smith, I think there was a focus, and there still is a focus. But with all of that happening, they didn't want to make it about DJ Smith, because it wasn't about him. It was about what Pierre Dorion did with the Evgeny Dadonov situation, and they just didn't want to make it about something else when it wasn't. So, DJ Smith, I think he was in trouble beforehand. I think he's still in trouble. You saw the Oilers, who, even though they won a game, they had already gone out and made a change because they were unhappy with what was going on. He is coaching for his absolute life with the Senators.
Even though Steve Staios
Yes.
has said he's our guy. But I mean, what's he going to say?
What else would he say?
Okay.
Right? I think if he said anything but exactly that, even if he just said, well, we'll wait and see about what's going to go on, well, then everyone would speculate about, you just can't do that to your employees. And I think that's what I appreciate that's being done here in Ottawa with Steve Staios, Michael Andlauer, Daniel Alfredson, is I think they're going to do things the right way. And when I say the right way, I mean no leaks, no rumors, no things happening. I think they're trying to do things above board, and then if they make a decision, they'll make a decision, but it will be theirs and they'll come out with it at that time.
Lee, what about the argument when it comes to Steve Staios is he doesn't have a general manager in place. They're supposedly looking for one. Maybe he takes the job. I don't know, but maybe they're looking for one. If you get rid of the coach and you're still looking for a general manager, what about the argument is, well, doesn't the new general manager want to make the coaching decision? What do you make of that argument?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. You're a basketball fan, right? Toronto Raptors?
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the Toronto Raptors? Do you know? Masai Ujiri.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not the general manager. He's the president, but he's not the general manager.
Correct.
A guy named Bobby Webster, who if he passed you on the street, you wouldn't know who Bobby Webster is.
Fair enough.
And Bobby Webster is the general manager of the Toronto Raptors. So I think there are certain people within organizations that are the decision makers. And I don't care what you call them.
Right.
General manager, vice president, president. At some point, the buck stops. And I think the buck is going to stop with Steve Staios. Now, whether he's the general manager as well as the president, maybe that's what they decide to do. I would bet that something happens where they bring in somebody, but let me just throw a name, like Matthew Darsh is the assistant general manager in Tampa.
Okay, hold that thought, okay? Lee, I know it's going to be difficult. Hold that thought. We'll be back with Lee and for a second segment, and we'll continue with this conversation. Yeah, very good, very good. Don't go anywhere.